What's going on, everybody? Matt here. So today I'm starting my review series on Attack on Titan. I started watching it for the first time and I have a lot to talk about in regards to the first season. But before I jump into the first season review, make sure to go down below, hit the subscribe button if you do like Attack on Titan. There's going to be a lot of Attack on Titan reviews from season 1 to 4 coming out, as well as reactions and other things. So if you guys are a fan of that, make sure to go down below and subscribe. But let's jump into the video. So Attack on Titan Season 1, there's just so much to talk about in regards to this first season, so I'm splitting it up into two parts. This will be part 1, so episodes 1 through 13, and then I'll do 14 to 25 or 26, I can't remember the exact number, but that will be the next video coming out in a few days. But this show is incredible. This anime is amazing. I mean, the show really just kicks it off by throwing you into the action with the Colossal Titan kicking down Wall Maria, and you're just thrown into the action. You get a little bit of backstory, but basically you're thrown into the disaster that these titans are causing. And one thing I want to say is the pacing of this show is incredible. You're constantly moving forward, there's constantly things thrown at you, and there's never a dull moment. That's one thing I really appreciate, is how fast the story moves forward, but also at the same time taking the time to really build everything up. It's just incredible pacing. So basically the show starts with the Colossal Titan breaking down the wall and the Titans start filtering in and they're wreaking havoc, and Eren's mom, she gets killed. And that's the moment that puts the story into action, because from that moment on, Eren is set on killing the Titans. He wants to kill every single Titan. That's what pushes him to want to join the Scouts for real, and pushes him to want to join the military. And it's just a heartbreaking moment, and it goes to show how strong these Titans are and how much of a threat they really are, and that's just really what kicks the story off. As for the characters, I'll be honest, the characters took a while to grow on me. We have the main trio of Eren, Armin, and Mikasa, and it did take about halfway through this first season for me to really enjoy these characters. Not saying I didn't like them in the beginning, I just needed to spend a little bit of time with these characters for them to grow on me. Like in the beginning, Eren was like a little whiny to me, like he overreacted and he was very emotional. Like I understand why he was emotional and everything. It was just a little too much for me in the beginning. Armin was a little whiny, I guess you could say. He was just annoying, I'll be honest. I thought he was annoying in the beginning. It took about the halfway mark for him to grow on me. And then for Mikasa, it was really hard for me to get something out of her character until we got her backstory, and then I understood why she was kind of to herself and emotionless, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but it took me a while to understand her character, but she's a badass. And I'll be honest, at first I thought she was Eren's sister, and then I realized maybe she isn't, and then maybe again I thought she was. And then I realized after they finally said it that she isn't. That took me a minute. But she's a badass, and she's just really fun to watch in any fight. She's just so skilled, and yeah, she's a really cool character once I started to understand her a little bit more. There's a ton of other characters I could probably talk about. There's just so many characters in this show that sometimes I get confused. I'm not really great with names in general, so learning all these characters was kind of difficult. John was another interesting character that took a while to grow on me. The Scouts, I'll talk about them more in part 2. But yeah, those are the main characters I want to talk about in regards to this review. One thing I find very interesting is the whole Titan and wall situation, because Titans came about 100 years ago, so they built these walls. There's like a 3-tier system with, I think it's Maria, Rose, Cena, and then Cena's like the middle, and you know what it is. But I find it very interesting that these Titans just showed up out of nowhere, so they had to build these walls to protect humanity, or what's left of humanity. And just that whole concept is just amazing. I love how they executed it, and it's just such an interesting story to tell, seeing these humans survive against these ginormous Titans. And they're ugly creatures, I'll say that. They're fucking ugly, and they're dangerous though. They're very dangerous. Like, we see them kill so many people, and it's hard to watch all these people die. They lay down their lives for this better cause, but it's just hard to watch. But I do really like this concept of the wall protecting the people, because it just creates for such a great story. I think there's so many different directions they can go in for the next season. Since I haven't seen them, I have my thoughts, but I don't know what they're gonna do. But I'm loving this story so far. So after the whole event of Eren watching his mom die, he actually ends up going and training with Mikasa, Armin. That's where they kind of meet everybody, their future friends. The training episodes were really cool. I'm glad it was only a few episodes, I think 2 or 3 at most maybe. I'm glad they kind of kept it tight. I feel like if it would have went on a little bit longer, it would have been too long. So I'm glad it was only a few episodes, and then they throw you right back into a whole battle. So after they're done training and they finally graduate from the academy, they're sent to Rose Wall, some of the characters, and they're sent there to kind of look over it, to defend it, I guess you could say. And they're sharing this great moment. They're all laughing, having a good time, talking about stealing food or something like that. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Colossal Titan shows up, and he's just standing there right in front of Eren. And it's really an oh shit moment because I don't think they're really cut out to actually be fighting this Titan right now, right where they were. And I'm just more concerned. Like, the first thing that went to my head is, why now? Why is this Titan appearing now? Because he's a bigger Titan than the rest. And he kicks down that wall. Eren goes to fight him and he disappears. And I was really confused. And then Titans started pouring in. And, they're fighting against them. People are dying. Soldiers are dying. And these kids who just finished training have to fight these Titans. And you can see the fear. Some are dying, and it's just this scary moment. It's like a horror story, basically, for them. That I don't think they were prepared for this. And it's hard to watch all these people die. And it's just really like, what the fuck? Why now? Why is this happening now? During this whole fight where the Titans are swarming in, you have the soldiers fighting them, and then Armin almost gets killed by one, but Eren saves him, but then he gets swallowed. And I'm all like, no way he's dead. No way. But his arm gets bit off. So I'm just confused at that moment. I honestly had no idea what was going on because I thought the whole objective was this protagonist is going to help kill all the Titans in the world. Or try to, or, do his best to kill as many Titans and protect humanity. So him dying just confused the shit out of me. And then things unravel and we find out that Eren's actually a Titan, which was a huge twist for me because I did not expect that. That moment when that giant Titan came up to protect Mikasa and just kill that other Titan, I was like, that's gotta be Eren, right? It only made sense. Our protagonist, that's the dude who we're following throughout the story. It only makes sense that that's him. And it is. And the reason that he is a Titan is because his dad injected him with some type of something, I don't know what it is, that made him be able to turn into a Titan. And his dad's place in this story is really confusing to me. Because one day he leaves and then all of a sudden shit just goes to hell when he leaves. And we later find out that Eren's not the only person who could become a Titan by harming themselves or hurting themselves or however he does it. He's not the only one that could do that. He's not the only one with that ability. So his dad's place in this story is really confusing to me because it's like, what side of the war is he on? Is he the one responsible for these other people who could turn into Titans? I don't know. That whole key cellar thing, there's stuff down there that I'm still excited to learn about. I feel like it's something huge down there, or maybe it's nothing, who knows. But that whole twist, that's not something I expect in this story. I did not expect Eren to become or be able to turn into a Titan. I thought it was going to be his journey to slaying Titans. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this is why this story is great so far, because they threw things at me that I did not expect. I didn't expect him to become a Titan, yet now he is, and it's just making this incredible story, building this incredible story that I can't wait to see it progress and just see the future episodes. So at some point during all this, we get Mikasa's backstory, which is really interesting because I think like 10 years prior, however long ago it was, her parents were killed. She was kidnapped by some type of traders who wanted to sell her or trade her or whatever it was. So she was kidnapped, her parents were killed, Eren and his father show up to see her parents were killed. Eren is sent to the bottom of the hill or wherever to go report it to someone. He actually finds her, and the two, Mikasa and Eren, actually kill the three people, which that's something I do have a problem with, is I don't believe that these two kids would actually kill these three guys. Like, it's hard for me to believe that these two kids were able to kill three grown men. It just... that's one thing I did have a little problem with. I do understand that living in the walls, you're taught to survive on your own, that it's survival of the fittest, I guess you could say, that you can't rely on anybody. I feel like that's kind of something that's probably taught throughout the wall, or living in the walls. But still, I have a problem with two little kids killing three grown men, but it is what it is. We move on from there. It's really a tragic backstory, but it adds to her character. I understand now why she kind of is the way she is, and it just overall just adds to her character. I'm going to take a step back really quick, go backwards a little bit because there's a few things I forgot to mention. One, the omnidirectional gear. I think it's a great use of technology. It's a really cool device that I think, is very unique to the story. I haven't seen that much anywhere else. It's kind of like a grappling hook, but you could do so much more. The blades, cutting the back of the neck, another interesting thing. I like the idea that these kids, They all want to fight against these titans because they all have their own horror stories. They all in some way want to get revenge, but there's also those people in it just to go deeper into the walls to be more protected. So it's interesting seeing the two sides of the different soldiers, their mindsets. So after Eren saves Mikasa in Titan form, he actually goes unconscious. Something happens to his Titan form, I can't remember what. She ends up saving him from the body of the Titan, and they get to a safe space. But then they get surrounded by other soldiers, and the one captain guy with the beard, he's just out of his mind. Like, he does not know how to handle this situation. He doesn't know how to perceive it. He just knows this kid is the Titan. He's about to kill them, basically. And then they fire a cannon, and Eren turns back into Titan form, and he blocks it. And we learn from there that Eren's able to turn into a Titan by self-harm or wounds or any type of physical harm to his body. And that's just a really interesting concept, how he turns into a Titan. But then right before the captain's about to fire another cannon, Commander Dot shows up. And he tells him, you know, this kid could be a savior. We could use his Titan power to help us. For once, you know, we can actually defeat the Titans and take leverage in this war with his kid's abilities because he wants to fight for us. And they formed this plan for Eren to grab a giant boulder and block the hole that is allowing the Titans in from Wall Rose. And at first, you know, the plan's looking good. Things are going kind of as planned. They're getting to the spot they need to get to. And then all of a sudden, Eren goes into Titan form and he almost kills Mikasa. And at that moment, I was like, does he not have control? It's just like a, oh no, maybe this is gonna fail. Maybe he isn't able to control himself in Titan form. And then he finally does at some point. There's like this, you know, whole thing of Armin yelling at him, you know, you could do this or whatever it may be. And he finally, you know, blocks that hole that's allowing the Titans in. And this is really the first time these people are seeing victory or somewhat of a victory in this war against these Titans, that they have something to counter them. And it's just this huge moment. You have soldiers celebrating. Yes, you did lose soldiers, but I think it was for the better in this situation, because if Titan's gone to Wall Rose, no one knows what would have happened from there. So it's just a huge victory for them. And you really know, like, you feel good. You feel good that finally they're going in the right direction. They have something to finally help them in this war, that maybe there is light at the end of the path. Maybe it's just not darkness. But even though the mission was a success, Eren was still put under arrest because they couldn't trust him. They didn't know, you know, was he able to live within society, or should we treat him as a Titan and kill him? So he's under arrest, he gets locked up in prison, and while he's in prison, the scouts show up and they basically say, hey, what side of the war are you on? Are you fighting with us? And he says yes, and they're like, okay, then you're joining the scouts. And that's how this part of the season, first half of the season, ends, and that's where I'm going to end this discussion. Overall, I'm enjoying this show so much right now. I still have a lot to talk about in regards to season 1, but that first half was insane. I was hooked from the beginning, and I was just watching episode after episode. I would tell myself one more and then watch like 3 more, and it's just so entertaining, so much fun, so much is just thrown at us, and there's just so much to process, and it's just such a great anime so far, and I'm loving it. I honestly can't wait to see where the show goes in the future. I'm just so excited to keep watching season 2, 3, and 4 because I feel like there's so many different ways it could go, but I have no idea where it's going to go. I do want to propose this one thing. I normally don't do reaction videos to any type of show, but I'm willing to do it for this show. If there's a certain episode that has like a huge moment in it, just let me know in the comments down below. Don't spoil anything. Just tell me the season number and the episode number, and if it's a really big moment or just something I need to watch or react to, I will do a reaction video for that episode. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the review of season 1, part number 1. Part number 2 will be out very soon, where I review episodes 14 to 25 or 26, whatever it is. So yeah, stay tuned for that video. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy Attack on Titan and want to see my reviews on season 2, 3, and 4 as well, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the like button. It does help me out a lot, and it's free to subscribe, so you guys won't want to miss out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.